Okay.
I don't need to clap anymore
Why?
because it's all synced. Now
Oh,
that we
all
have
right
this
then.
new way, I don't have to do that.
Then we'll just do it that way.
Okay.
All right.
What are you drinking?
I have
We should I
have not
detail
one,
the types
Innocent
of beer
gun.
we have.
but
Yeah.
2 glasses of water.
One, not two. Okay. Good for you.
When
What
you're
a
in
riot.
your
What a
booth talking all day, you need lots.
What a party girl.
What are you
Okay.
drinking, Dave?
Yeah.
I have a Caribbean rum cast.
Oh.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Where's that from?
you gotta get that Innocent Gun. It's really good.
Oh. Is that what kind of, is it a dark beer?
Yes, a ruby red, as a
Oh,
matter of fact.
Okay.
What do you
I
got there
have
for me?
a North Brewing Company Brunello Session Ale
Oh, nice, perfect.
in honor
Okay.
of the golf course in which I live
Oh, nice.
and do not golf.
There you go.
Oh, nice.
All right. Well, cheers.
Okay, cheers.
This is Due to Underwhelming Demand, the podcast with Dave, Rachel, and Forman, which, by the way, is brought to you by Campbell Amusements today.
Yes, brand new sponsor.
Campbell Amusements, they are, I'm telling you right now, they're family fun for everyone. Am I right?
For everyone, yeah. They're the carnival that takes all the midway to a bunch of the fairs around here. So we're going to tell you a little
part
bit
of
more.
every fair.
They are the best
Well,
part of every
absolutely.
fair.
They
Of
do the
course they are.
rides and the games
Sure.
and all that kind of stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah, they're the
Okay,
best
well,
part.
Thank you to Campbell Amusements for supporting the podcast. This podcast, by the way, that's just about 1 year old. Just about, like we're a day
We're like a
off.
day shy.
Mhm.
Day shy. Is
Tomorrow will be your anniversary. Yeah.
That's our anniversary.
Happy
And-
anniversary, guys.
Yeah.
1 year on the podcast.
That's right. And
That's so nice.
like most 1 year olds, we're more active,
Mm.
curious, and expressive. We also throw temper tantrums. And,
Regularly.
we're probably going to need a diaper change in about 20 minutes. Okay? So if anybody's up for that.
It's been 1 year. There's Forman pointed this out, 52 weeks in a year. But in our year, only 45 episodes.
That's probably why the modern first anniversary traditional gift is a clock.
a clock.
Oh, okay, so that we
Perfect.
know how often we should be
Uh-huh.
producing a podcast.
Maybe we could get this one done on time. How
We're
about that?
never, ever on
That's
time.
never
I
on
think
time.
each
Maybe.
episode has progressively gotten longer.
Yeah, maybe.
No.
Maybe. Okay.
Case in point, I've already been recording for 22 minutes.
There we go.
Because we
That
just
does-
get on here and talk for that long.
That does
Yeah.
not surprise me.
Yeah.
All right, Rachel, what's
Oh my gosh.
I'm curious about this because I got a text from you this morning saying,
Yes.
hey, look, they're putting in a water heater, so there might be some noise.
Yeah. No, he just finished like 20 minutes before 20 minutes ago when we started
Uh-huh.
talking.
Sure.
You
You two
just-
must be real nice to constantly have men in your home doing work and renovations and constantly buying new and bigger and better things.
Hey, I didn't have
Must
to
be
pay for
very,
this.
very nice.
No, this was all Reliance because that's who has our water heater. So
Oh,
that's
brutal, even worse.
Oh my gosh.
That's
I know.
really
I know.
wow.
Yeah, we rent it. So we have not had hot water. Today is Thursday
Mm-hmm. As we
and
record this trip.
as we record this. Yeah, and we have not had hot water since Saturday.
Really?
So it's almost a full week.
That's hardcore. That's
Yeah.
that's like camping.
Like it was
Mhm.
it just makes me does anyone else get
Gosh,
so
what do you do?
angry
Have to
be
jump in
put
your
out?
heated pool?
yeah.
Yeah, really. Not
Yeah.
with soap though. Like
Yeah.
I wouldn't need to wash my hair. I gotta shave my legs. I can't do that in the pool. But just, like I get
I
so
hope not.
angry when I'm
Although-
just put
although
out
that
by
would
stuff
be-
like that.
That
And
would
it's
be
such I know.
entertaining, I think.
I
Yeah.
know.
Now we
Yeah.
know why that drone keeps flying around.
Oh
That's
my
right.
god. It's a friggin'
That's-
drone.
There's
And
that
we've
lady
seen it
shaving
again.
her legs in the pool
Yeah.
again.
I could talk about that drone every episode. I really
Uh-huh.
could.
Okay.
Anyway, so we haven't had hot water. So I've had to go to my mom's house. We've been having cold showers because you have to. And then just like I didn't have a shower yesterday because I knew he was coming today. So he's
Uh-huh.
installed it. It was quicker than I thought.
Right.
And thank God we have hot water. And right after I'm done here, I'm going to have a shower because it's going to feel great.
This is the great thing about doing this remotely. with each
You
other.
don't have to sit beside me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've learned actually the correct way to have a cold shower.
Oh, really?
If you ever
What's
need to do that, maybe your water heater breaks and you need to wait for a new one.
Right.
Of course, it broke over the long weekend, right? Like it's the Murphy's Law, of course.
Yeah.
So I got into the shower. I was going to have a cold shower. I did have a cold shower the other day, and I got in and I'm like, okay. And the thing about getting into the shower is that your brain assumes that the water is just going to warm up because it always does.
Yes.
Well, then it doesn't. And you're like, oh, shit, this is really cold. And it really is like jarring. So I get in. I'm like, okay, there is no way I can just put my full body under there. So then I'm doing like one limb at a time and kind of splashing myself a little bit, and then doing the other limb and my legs. And then I kind of did my face because I gotta wash my face. And then I did the soap, and then I kind of washed off like one limb at a time as much as I could. So
this is painting
that
a
worked.
great picture. Yeah.
I know, but
Yeah.
it was so cold. Like it's not even lukewarm. Like it's freezing cold. So then Jeremy went to work because he had a cold shower. Then he went to work and talked to one of his coworkers who told him the correct way to have a cold shower. What you have to do is you just turn the shower on.
How does that guy know?
Yeah.
I don't know, actually. Maybe it's happened to him before. I don't know how he knows. So Jeremy told me this today. He's like, I learned the correct. I'm like, on the day he's coming, we've now learned the correct way. But anyway, you have to just immerse yourself. It's like diving into a cold pool or a cold lake. You just got to do it.
And then you get used to it.
You do it. You get all wet, and then you step back. You do your soap and your shampoo or whatever you got to do. And then you just dive back in, quickly rinse off. Because by then you're okay with the temperature, so it's not so bad.
Yeah.
So you can't do it limb by limb like I was doing it. You've got to just dive right in like a lake, cold lake. You just got to do
Cannonball
it. Get
right
it
in.
Cannonball into the shower, and that's it. Now, the thing is, if you've got hair like mine and it takes like 5 minutes to wash and rinse and do again, then I didn't do that here at home. I just did my body. I went to my mom's house to do my hair. That would take a lot longer because I don't want to stand under there for that long. For Jeremy, who has no hair, he can just stand under there for 30 seconds and he's washed, right?
You're trying to. Are you telling me you could have just showered at your mom's?
I did shower. Time? Yeah, I have been doing that. Yeah, but there's some times where you want your own stuff at your house, and it's just easier. I'm just gonna have a quick cold shower. Get it over with. I have gone to my mom's.
You're basically telling us that this was not really a hardship for you at all.
It was a hardship because I know hot water.
Your mom lives very close to you. How far? How long is the walk?
Do you even need a car to get to her house?
Yeah, do you need a car?
No.
The answer is no. We already know that.
Yeah, we already know that. So, once again...
Just saying,
must be
guys,
very, very nice.
That's right.
Say the two men who've had hot water the last week.
Well...
Must be nice, yeah.
I refer to it as my wife was intrigued by there was a series that was done. I forget who did this, but it's Chris Hemsworth, Thor.
Okay, yeah.
And, Janet took notice, did she?
Yeah, she likes Thor. And it was a 6-episode thing in where he tries different things. He wants to learn how to, the premise is he wants to learn how to live his best life, how to live his best.
Oh, yeah, it's a documentary he did, right?
Yes, best healthy life.
I guess she also watched the Zac Efron one, too?
No, not really? That one. No,
she might take notice of that one as well.
Okay.
Yeah,
well,
she might.
Anyway, so Chris Hemsworth, I think in the second episode, the first episode, he has to walk out on a crane that is suspended way, up on the tall building. He has to walk out on the crane.
No, thank you.
And he has to overcome his fears and his doubts and all of that stuff. And then the second episode, I believe, there's one where they do the starvation thing where you don't eat for 3 or 4 days, or the fasting thing.
Okay, yeah.
Apparently that's supposed to be good for you. And look, I'm not condoning any of this or saying you should do it. I'm just telling you this is the show. And then he does one in which they go north and they get into the water in freezing cold water and swim.
Oh.
Swim. And that is apparently, Rachel, very good for you.
Oh, well, I should be quite healthy after this week.
You didn't? Wait, why? You went to your mom's.
Well, I had some cold showers, then I went to my mom's a couple times, yeah.
You didn't have any cold showers. You stuck your
I
foot
did.
in.
Okay,
You
well, I had
you
to
put
wash
your toe
myself.
in. You put
Yeah,
your
I had to
arm
wash
in.
and rinse. It still
Yeah.
went in. That
And then
counts.
bitched about it and went to your mom's.
What a hardship.
Yeah, then it sucked and I went and left.
What a
You know
hardship.
what? Everybody's doing those ice baths lately, so that reminds me of this because Chris Hemsworth's swimming in the lake.
Sure.
Everybody but you.
Everybody
Oh yeah,
but Rachel.
I don't know why people are doing that. Like, what's the benefit of being in an ice bath? I don't even care what it is. I'm not doing it.
So how many?
Like, that's crazy.
How many cold showers would Jeremy have taken?
2 or 3.
Did he go to your mom's?
Yeah,
Okay.
he did
How about the kids?
twice. The kids have not had cold. They bathed at my mom's. Yeah,
Ah. All right.
the kids bathed.
Wow,
at
So
my
this has
mother's.
been truly a hardship for the family.
Yeah. Well, yes. Yeah.
There's a few things that you
Well, it's
left out.
annoying when this stuff happens, guys. Like, that's no fun.
Rachel details her mild inconvenience.
It is. Well, for 5-6 days, that's an inconvenience.
Yeah.
That's no fun.
Can I know that I've said this before, but
Please
Are you
don't say
fami-
it. I
are
don't know
you
what you're
fami-
going to say, but I
Are-
just don't want you to just
are you
don't
fami-
even.
Fucking shout it
Ring
from a
the
mountain.
bell. We're done. Ring the
no.
bell.
Are you familiar with the term high maintenance?
No.
Does that?
No.
Okay. Does that ring?
We're done now.
A bell?
Bell. Thank you.
This is Due to Underwhelming Demand, the podcast with Dave, Rachel, and Forman, brought to you by Campbell Amusements. That's right, Campbell Amusements. They're the ones that bring you the family fun at fall fairs.
Yeah, they're the party at the fair. It's the midway, the
That's right.
rides and the games and all of that. And there's tons of fall fairs coming up, including Stratford around here, Ilderton, Rockton's World Fair, along with some others. So we'll talk a little bit more about that in a bit.
Okay. This podcast, by the way, you can throw your bra at it, and unlike Drake, we won't keep it. So
Does Drake keep them?
Oh, he's,
I didn't see that.
you don't follow him on
No.
Instagram yet?
Last week,
Well,
he
I
put
do,
it, he
but I didn't.
chronicled all of the ones he's kept. It's
Oh,
disgusting.
interesting.
He's
That's
posting
yes.
pictures of them.
Is he washing them?
Yeah.
Like that's
I don't
kinda
know
gross.
what you do with. I don't know. Anyway,
Okay.
that's
I don't
what
need your sweaty bra from because you
No.
were dancing at the concert. You know.
I don't know why we're. Well,
Drake?
I understand why you might want to rip it off. I don't understand. You
Yeah.
want to throw it at him.
You
And
know
then
what?
what are
Taking
those
that
women
off is the
doing for
best
the
part
rest
of the day.
night?
What's that?
Taking
What
it
are those
off.
women doing for the rest of the night while they're downtown at a show? Are you going out? Like, what do you? You don't have your bra anymore.
Yeah, you go without.
Did you bring a spare?
Do you carry a spare,
Mm-mm.
Rachel?
No, I don't. I usually
Oh.
just have one.
Oh,
Yep.
okay.
Just one at a time.
Thank you. Good.
Just one
All
at a
right.
Drake
time.
might as well be a sailor in Halifax this week.
Oh, why is
Because
that?
it's Fleet Week, baby!
Oh, Fleet Week in
Oh,
Halifax.
Wow.
Now, I've heard rumors about Fleet Week, but I've never experienced it myself. So please tell what it's like, Forman. Is the boardwalk very busy?
Fleet Week is like homecoming, Rachel. Make sure
Yeah.
your teenage daughters are at home.
Hide your wives, hide your kids.
Hide your wives, hide your kids.
Yeah.
That's it.
Halifax International Fleet Week is Thursday to Sunday where there's a parade of ships and there's a pyrotechnic show and the
Oh.
military bands are playing, yada, yada, yada. But there's also Canadian, American, and British sailors in town for a good time.
Yes,
Not a
they
long time.
are.
Wow.
Yes, they are.
Men, women, whatever you want, have at it. The
Okay.
buffet is open.
Wow. Wow. So does that mean, would you,
No.
Would it be difficult for men for
Ashley's
you to-
quite content, so no.
Quite content. Yes. So you know
Yeah,
what?
but
It
would
was
you-
your anniversary. Side note, because I know it was your anniversary.
Yes.
You posted that this week,
Labor
and
Day.
someone had asked. I wonder if his wife was quite content tonight.
Yes.
So
I believe so.
okay, well that's
Which she,
so she's
she-
not out at Fleet Week,
she
is
didn't
what
tell-
you're
she didn't-
saying.
She didn't say she was quite content.
No.
You just believe she was.
You just
I-
took
I
it
don't
from
have,
last
like,
time, and it still
a
continues.
questionnaire.
Okay. Well, I'm a little concerned, but anyway, that's
Oh
a
my
topic
gosh.
Just
for
rate
another.
your experience.
That's a topic for another day. Maybe we should have your wife on at some point.
Yeah, we should.
Have at it. But yeah,
Okay.
just not this weekend. It's
Yeah.
Fleet Week is where
No, I just want to know whether you, like, if you were to go downtown, would you be
there's
able to
sailors
get
everywhere.
Would you be able to get into a bar, or would it be too like? Is it?
Almost every. I mean, there's a lot of places officially, like the Citadel here and the Maritime Museum where they have all the Titanic stuff and
Right.
Okay.
all kinds of sites like that is like free for military members and veterans
Oh,
and their
interesting.
families. But also, like, pretty sure any bar downtown that would have a lineup, you show up in a uniform and you are not waiting in line, no matter what country that uniform is for.
Well, that's good.
Sure, that makes sense.
Special
You
treatment.
do what you
Of course.
want.
Yeah.
You do what you want.
Yes,
And
as you should.
I had friends that lived there years ago for school, and I know that they looked forward to Fleet Week because
I'm
they
sure they
looked
did.
forward to all the sailors coming in.
They look forward to sailor shopping.
Sailor
What a
shopping.
coincidence.
Yeah, that's
Is
right.
that a
Dalhousie
thing?
and St. Mary's University are all back in session just in time for Fleet Week.
So
That's
a
why they
thing.
have it in September.
Sailor shopping is a thing.
Oh, yeah. We're
Oh,
going
I'm
downtown going
sure.
sailor shopping.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
If you're a sailor and you're in a boat for how many months at a time,
Oh, yeah, I understand
and it's
that.
Fleet Week
Look,
anywhere,
Yeah.
yeah.
Sure.
You know these guys have good
Fleet
jobs,
Week
or these
anyway.
women have good jobs.
Yes.
They're well paid.
Yep.
They're physically fit.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Sure.
They're mentally fit.
Uh-huh.
They
And
have
they-
to be.
and-
And they have a curfew, so they're not sticking
yes,
around.
get out. Also, side benefit, they know how to take direction.
Or
Do
give
they?
it if you prefer.
Yeah, or-
Yes,
okay.
perhaps. Yeah.
Mhm.
I would say it's akin to the beginning of the OHL season here in London.
Mhm.
Oh,
Look,
you know,
all the nights are
okay.
out at Jim Bob's.
That's right. That's right.
Which
You know.
bar is letting in the underagers?
That's right.
You're a London night?
Mhm.
That's
Yes.
fine.
Dressing room, just outside the dressing room door gets a
Oh,
little
yeah.
crowded.
I
Yeah,
bet.
yeah,
I
yeah.
believe if you showed up at Dirty Nelly's anytime this weekend, you'll be doing great.
Dirty Nellies. I've been there. I've been to Dirty Nellies.
So, have you seen an influx of people like downtown on the
Oh,
on the
goodness,
boardwalk?
yes.
Maybe when you're heading to work in the morning to do the radio show.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, this is school's back too, right? Like, so just everything's back, and so Fleet
Right.
Week makes it that much busier. But there's ships and sailors, and there's military people from
All
all
over the
over,
place.
just packing every place,
That's
Right.
which
cool.
is great. We were talking about it on the radio here, and some ladies like, oh yeah, I had a good time at Fleet Week about 20 years ago, and I've been married to a sailor for about 20 years.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Well, yes, you
Mhm.
could be
And then
husband
she
shopping
came-
or wife
Well,
shopping.
she came out with a comment of like, just make sure you don't put your Tide box in the window.
What's that mean?
What exactly? I had to Google it, and she told me to Google it, so I
Oh.
Googled it.
Oh.
And
It can be for a certain type of military wife or girlfriend if the husband in that situation is deployed. You put your Tide box in the window of your laundry room to let everyone else that's still left behind know that you are alone and looking for attention.
oh,
Why
How
is
about
it specifically tied? Because it's for the sailors?
I don't know. It probably goes back to, like wartime. And what else form of entertainment did
Wow.
you have?
I've never heard of that. This is like
Me
when we
either.
talked about all the signs for swingers.
Yes. Tide box.
I didn't even the Tide box in the window
yeah.
when your spouse has been deployed and you're home alone.
Mhm.
Huh.
And you're lonely.
Mm.
Interesting.
Couldn't you just go to a bar like everybody else?
I'm pretty sure going to the lower deck would do just
It would
fine.
Yes,
probably
exactly.
work out
Go to
better.
Dirty Nellies. Why do I have to put my Tide box in the window? Might as well
If
go-
you are the spouse that is
Yeah.
being deployed and you see that
Mhm.
your spouse at home is stocked up on
Not-
Tide
No,
specifically,
not that
maybe
I'm
you have a little
advocating
bit
that you
worried.
do that, but I'm just
Well,
suggesting.
and the woman I work with, she already said that her friend was downtown last night. And Fleet
Okay.
Week at the time of this recording only starts today officially. But she
Oh.
said she ran into a bunch of British sailors at one of the
Mm.
bars and said they were the rudest bunch of expletives she's ever met.
Oh.
And the
Oh.
woman I work with, that's the friend, is saying, "I'll be right there."
Oh,
Really?
to each their own. Depends on what you're
Have
into.
at it.
Have at it. If you want the rude boys at the lower deck, go for it.
The rude boys.
They're there aplenty.
The rude boys. I like that. All right. Well, Fleet Week. We don't get
That's
that.
fascinating. I want an
we don't
update
get
on that
here.
next time.
Yeah, we don't get that here. So
No.
yeah, you need
Oh
to
no.
you
We
need
ju-
to
we just
delve
have all
into
the
this
hockey
for me.
players.
I need to. Yeah. You
Mhm.
need to. I think this deserves a follow up.
I think
the
you should
Fleet
go
Week
down and
probably
interview
heard
people.
about. Yeah, well, she might, and so I might add that in after
Yeah,
if she
yeah.
does. But the Fleet Week you've heard about is probably the one in New York because that's a spectacle.
Yes.
Oh no, I
Yes.
haven't.
Oh
I
yeah.
I-
Fleet
yeah.
Week's a big deal in New York City
Okay.
because
Well,
it's a big harbor, right?
Yes,
Okay.
it came up in conversation though that My only military connection is family. My uncle is in the military. My grandfather he was a commander of the Air Force Base here in Nova Scotia.
Right.
But also my grandmother is from Staten Island.
Hmm.
And then people wanted to prod and poke away at that story, and I would rather not think about that because that's my grandparents.
Do you think maybe Grandpa rolled up during Fleet Week in New York City?
Why do you...
Okay, I see where that's going.
Just let the picture be painted there, Rachel, and leave poor Forman alone.
They were young once. He would
prefer not to hear that. This is Due to Underwhelming Demand, the podcast with Dave, Rachel, and Forman, brought to you this week by Campbell Amusements. Yep, that's them. You know who Campbell Amusements are.
They're the fun part of every fair.
Exactly.
The
Over
carnival.
50 years of family fun.
They've
They're
got
at the Brampton
family
Fair this week.
Brampton,
the Binbrook Fair this week. The Stratford Fair next week. The Bolton Fair. And Ilderton at the end of the month. And, of course, the Rockton World's Fair.
Yes, they do a lot of the fairs around here. It's fall fair season around here.
Yeah.
Campbell Amusements does fairs all across Ontario, New Brunswick, some in Quebec, I think, and PEI, Nova Scotia.
Yeah,
they're all over all summer long. So now they're in this area for the fall. So yeah, Brampton is this weekend, and so is Binbrook, and then Stratford's coming up. And if you're going to any of those, including the Ilderton Fair, which you know I always go to, you can actually get advance tickets or bracelets, early bird pricing for tickets and stuff like that online at campbellamusements.com, and you can view the event schedule there. So if you're looking for bracelets and special things, then you can get them there.
So you can, with a bracelet, you can ride for as long as you want.
Yes.
Well, not as long as you want, but
it's unlimited rides.
As much as you want.
As much as you want, not as long. Sometimes if you ride, you can ride a little longer than you want, and that's when the vomiting starts. So we don't want, not that we really want to talk
They
about
do have policies
Sometimes your
for
body
vomiting.
tells you when it's time.
What's that?
They do have policies for vomiting on the rides.
Unlike Air Canada.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Okay. Well, good.
I heard about that.
That's
Poor Air
important.
Canada. Poor people on the Air Canada.
I'd love to
flight.
see if you go to, like, if you're at the Brampton Fair or Ilderton Fair, or go to Rockton or Stratford or Bolton, you got to look for the new Orbiter ride that they have brand new this year. They say it's a spectacular new ride from Europe.
Oh,
cool.
Wow.
The Orbiter. You know what? I was at I actually went to the
European vomit.
You can vomit the European
It's a classier style of vomiting.
That's right. Yeah. It's maybe more silent.
Yes.
I was actually at the Paris Fair, which Campbell Amusements did last weekend. Paris, Ontario.
That's a beautiful
not
town,
Paris,
by the way.
Europe, in Europe,
No.
right.
That's
Paris,
a beautiful
Ontario
town.
is a beautiful
It's
town.
Beautiful town.
And the Paris Fairs is one of my favorites, actually, because it's big, but not too big. Anyway, but it's really nice. And I went on the swings ride because my daughter really wanted to go on it. Julia she's a daredevil. And so we love the roller coaster. They've got a little one there, so we do like that. But then she's like, let's go on the swings. The swings went so freaking high. The whole time I was like, I really hate this. And then she says, I really love this. It's so awesome. It was, I did it one time and I was like, yep, that's it.
Yeah, Mom, you're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to go, are you okay over there?
She's fine.
Isn't this fun?
She loves it. Yeah. But they have lots for the little kids too, because my little one will only go on like the littler kid rides. She's not as much of a daredevil, but Julia will go on all the big
That's more
ones.
your style. Like the Bumblebee Bop or the merry-go-round is more Rachel. The Scrambler or the one that's literally called the Freak Out, maybe you should just let Julia go on.
Jeremy loves the Scrambler. That's his favorite ride.
I do the Freak Out. I don't care. I go on. It doesn't matter to me.
I love roller coasters, but the spinny ones, I can't do the spinny around.
I can do it all.
Spinny aroundy.
They don't bother me anymore. Sometimes I will admit, because I'm frail, that it might actually hurt me. My knee goes out or whatever. But I don't care. I'll still go on them. And why wouldn't you?
Yeah, well, it's the best part. I mean, that's why you go to the fair, to go on the rides.
Exactly.
Right? So anyway, Brampton is this weekend. September 14th is when it starts. Binbrook, that's near Hamilton. That starts September 15th. Stratford starts September 21st. Then they're in Bolton, then Ilderton, and then Rockton. So if you can get to any of those fairs, and if you want to check out early bird pricing, campbellamusements.com. All right.
Got it. This is Due to Underwhelming Demand, the podcast with Dave, Rachel, and Forman. This podcast is kind of like your very, very, if you can remember back, your very first day of school. It's not as bad as you thought.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Well, that's nice.
It's not great, but it's not as bad as you thought.
Is it better or worse than a radio show?
Not sure if it's better or worse. I don't even know.
I don't know either.
Yeah. Okay. I have a question for you, and trust me, I'm making this up as I go. And when I say that,
Oh, we know.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I do. That's what I do.
Right.
I don't really know what to call this, but do you have somebody in your life that you frequently text who is a machine gun texter? In other words, someone that texts.
They just send a bunch of texts like,
Yes.
like
Yeah, because this past weekend it was probably one of the nicer weekends we've had in this area here in Southwestern Ontario. It was stinking hot,
Yeah.
and it's not like we haven't had hot weather, but we didn't really have. I felt like this was a rainy summer more than it was a hot summer. There was some humidity. There's a lot of people looking forward to fall, and I get that and I understand that. I didn't think it was that great a summer, but it was. Oh boy, this past weekend we had a long weekend. It was stinking hot and sunny, and so you're outside by the pool. Now when you have your phone out there by the pool and it's stinking hot, you got to put it in the shade. Otherwise,
of course,
the temperature
can't
thing
overheat.
goes and everything else. So I have mine sitting in the shade. It's not near me, and then my phone goes. I get a text alert. And then I get another text alert, and then I get a third text alert, and then a fourth text alert, and then a fifth. And Jana, my wife, turns to me and said, "Someone's texting you." I said, "Yeah, I know. It's Rachel."
Me?
Yeah. And so,
how did you know it was me?
And she says, "How do you know it's Rachel?" I said,
Yeah.
"Because that's how Rachel texts."
It isn't.
Yes, it is. You're a machine.
Well,
gun.
sometimes
Yes.
I accidentally hit send, and then I'm like, "Oh shoot, I forgot to say this too."
Yeah. Okay. So
are we done now? Is that why you're hitting the bell?
No, I accidentally hit the bell. So no,
Just another text from Rachel.
Yeah. So another text. A text alert.
But it's only 2 words at a time.
So I go over, I grab my phone, and sure enough, oh look, 5 texts from Rachel, and she says things like, "But maybe not." Right? So she says, "Can you do this for me?" "Oh, wait a second, don't do that." And then we stop, and then we get, "Maybe you could do, hang on." And then, right? I mean, you get all, and you can,
I do not remember saying that, any of those things.
I have received as many as 7, 8 texts in a row. They're just, and they're just half thoughts or, "No, sorry, here's what I meant to send you." Blah, and I'm
they're not half thoughts. That you know why? In my defense, the reason I
need to know why.
Okay, I don't text everybody like that. I usually try and do one long text if I can, but sometimes I forget things. And I would like
to hear from other people who are in maybe a text chat with you. I believe
with me personally.
I believe you text everyone like that. You just don't think you do. I think you do. I think you do. Unless there's something about Forman and I.
Well, you two. Yes, there is.
The last 8 texts in a row I have are all from you.
Hold on, let me check. What have I said? What did I say?
And they just go like,
I don't even know.
Rat-a-tat-a-tat-a-tat-a text.
Yes, okay. Yes, but they're all things that you needed to know for the podcast, because who's the organizer?
Sure.
Rachel.
Okay.
Does most of that.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
And the thing about texting either of you, and I would like to hear from people who text Dave and Forman, actually, because I think this would be interesting. When I text you, I have to send every thought all at once, because I know that you both need.
But you don't.
No, I do, because you need 24 hours to think about that and then reply. Now, especially
There's a
Forman.
difference if they all came in one paragraph versus 7 separate
Doesn't matter.
thoughts.
You're not going to see it right away anyway. And then you're going to take a full day to reply.
No.
Yes, you do.
Well, you're
or you don't reply at all.
Well, now look. I was
so then yes, the whole text chain is me
what I do
because nobody else replies.
Okay. Well, listen. Forman can explain himself. Now, I was just away, and we weren't going to record anything, and then all of a sudden we were going, and I didn't know. I had no idea because I tried to use Wi-Fi as much as possible while I was away.
Right.
So I don't have, I'm not roaming.
Right.
I'll do that if I need it, but I didn't feel like I needed it. So I literally got texts from you, and again, they were machine gun texts that came to me 3 or 4 days late because I got back here
Right.
and these things would show up and stuff. So you can blame me for not getting back to you if I'm not, but in this case, I think I had a valid reason for not. I didn't get back to you because I didn't get your.
Well, okay, yes,
text.
in that you
I didn't
were
get it.
away, and I knew you were away.
But I believe.
But I'm sending you the information that you need to, like, FYI, this is what we have to do for this podcast. This is what's coming up. I need this and this from you, and whatever, right?
Yeah,
like,
but you don't do it
stuff
that way. You
that's-
go, FYI, we have a podcast coming up. Send. I'm gonna need this.
And-
Send. And this. Send. And maybe this too.
because I'm
Send.
sending it to you as I'm remembering.
And
I
then,
forgot.
Oh,
to
by
tell
the
them
way,
this
if
too.
you have any pictures, send them to me. Send.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because then
listen,
it all gets to you. Doesn't
I
matter
When
how
I hear
many.
that many notifications, I get so annoyed and
I know.
overwhelmed with them
I know.
that I turn the sound
You
off.
get
That's
one.
right.
No, that's a moot point because you get overwhelmed with one. You don't even reply to one. I could send Forman one full message and he would not
Oh,
reply.
That's not true.
Yes, that's
I
true.
I agree with you because when one goes off, I think someone's texting me. But once the machine gun goes,
Yeah.
I know who's texting me, and it's not necessarily. I don't like it's Sunday, and I know that we're recording at some point in 5 days. I'm not really going to get up out of my chair and go check those texts because I know who they're from.
You're making us ignore them.
That's right.
I'm
I
making
know who
it-
you are, and I believe. Look, and I.
I know who you are.
I know who you are. I believe that if you are a machine gun texter,
Yeah.
then I believe it flows into the rest of your life. You'll do things like I'll say to you when we were working together, you'd come in the next day, oh, I'm so tired, which you did every day. You would come in, I'm so tired. I said, well, what time?
Well, not
did you
every
leave?
day,
What
but
time
okay.
did you leave here yesterday? Well, I got
Earlier
out-
than Forman.
Yeah, I got out at like 9:30, but then I had to come back because I remembered I wanted to talk to so and so. And then when I started talking to, then I left and I went, oh, and I need to see somebody else.
Yeah.
Machine gun texting. Stop. See,
But that's machine gun talking because then I had to go see the different departments
You
and
can't
such.
even leave. You have to go back in and check
Yeah.
again. You can't. You don't even get. See, I believe that stuff pops into your head
Yeah.
after you hit the send button.
No, as
and
soon
you
as it
decide
pops
that
into my
that's-
head, I
yeah.
have to say it because otherwise I will forget. I will forget to do. This is why I have to make lists for everything, or I
Wow.
will not remember. So if I
Yeah.
don't text you right now, I won't remember later. But if I text you, you'll get
Okay.
it, and I
Alright.
know you won't reply right away anyway. And at
No,
least
because
it's there.
because we know it's you.
Yeah, but you know what, though?
Yeah.
This bodes well for your future, Rachel.
Oh God,
I think
why?
you are well set up to become a properly retired senior citizen
Oh yeah.
because
Oh, absolutely.
you can make
Uh-huh.
one appointment in the city last all day.
Yeah.
Oh,
you
yes.
The whole
Yeah.
event because
I
there's
know.
so many little things to do and
Oh,
run
yes,
in
there's
here
so-
and run in
sure.
there and talk to that person.
Of
Oh,
course.
better go pick that up. Better go back to that same store again. All day.
Oh,
I would
yep.
never go
Just
back
to get
to
an
the
eye
store.
exam.
Yeah. How many times have you walked out of Costco and gone, "Oops, I got to go back in"?
Well, that not usually that day, but the next day I'm like, oh shoot, I
Ah,
forgot
so,
to
yeah,
buy
I knew it. Yeah.
whatever.
I knew it. I was right. This is Due to Underwhelming Demand, the podcast with Dave, Rachel, and Forman. We've come to, by the way, brought to you by Campbell Amusements.
Yes.
Yeah.
They've got lots of fairs coming up. They're the best part of the fair, the midway, the rides, and the games. They've got the Brampton Fair this weekend, September 14th. Binbrook, which is near Hamilton, that's also this weekend, starting September 15th. Stratford starts September 21st, the Stratford Fair. Bolton also the same weekend, 21st. And then Ilderton,
That's
my
a biggie.
favorite,
That's a
you
biggie.
know,
That's a
September
biggie.
29th weekend. And then Rockton is their very last one, starting October 5th.
People
the
in-
Rockton's World Fair.
Yeah. The people in Binbrook are jealous of Ilderton, by the way.
I bet they are.
They are.
Our little fair has
That's
really
right.
grown and grown.
Yes, it has.
Yeah.
Listen, just before we're going to do some of the messages that you've sent us, which we like to do, can I just acknowledge Jimmy Buffett? We used to.
God, we got another one.
Yeah, I know. We used to.
I know
chuckle
we've lost a
little
lot
bit.
of people in the last year.
It's
I was
been
gonna say,
just a
Dave, and
terrible
maybe
year.
Rachel. I'm not sure if you're familiar, but we had a big story this week is we lost Bruce Guthrow.
Oh, I wasn't familiar with that.
Yeah, he had a #1 song in the '90s, and I don't know. He was only
Yeah, I do
62,
remember the
and he
name.
had a
I remember the
cancer
name.
battle.
I
so.
remember the name. Well, listen, Jimmy. We lost Jimmy Buffett, which caught me off guard. I think I knew that he was. That he had missed some shows and stuff like that. But, Jimmy Buffett, by the way, was one of the hardest working performers of all performers because he constantly toured. He didn't need to.
Yeah.
He was worth $1 billion.
Yeah.
He didn't need to.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that we used to make. I used to say to myself, I was at the Margaritaville in Las Vegas in the gift shop, T-shirts and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, who wants to work in here? Because you hear Margaritaville a lot.
Oh, yeah.
You hear it a lot.
Well, you better.
Mm-hmm.
But of course. But he took that song and business opportunities, obviously, that came with it and built an empire. And
Yeah, he
hats
did.
off to. But it's not just that. I think he brought joy to so many people.
Yeah.
That lifestyle and that whole thing.
Well, he built resorts around it.
I mean,
there's
I think
cruises.
who didn't want to be Jimmy Buffett?
Of
Yeah,
course.
everybody.
Yeah,
Yeah.
everybody did.
What
And
are his fans called? Don't they have a name?
Yes,
Parrot
they do. And
heads.
I want to say
Parrot
quickly,
heads.
back when I worked with Jackie, we did a backyard barbecue thing. I can't recall all of the details, but we were in a small town. It might have been where you live, Rachel, but I'm not sure. I don't recall all of the details. But we had a group of people in the backyard for a barbecue, and somebody came out, and we had like somebody cooking and doing all of that stuff, and we brought, beverages, and I don't know what it was for. I can't recall. But all of the people who were at this little backyard, and they were all friends and neighbors and everything else, I had no idea that this even existed. They were all parrot heads. And the parrot head was what the people that followed Jimmy Buffett all over the place. That's what they were called.
Yeah, they're
And
fans.
these people, and I was fascinated by it because that's what they were getting ready to go to see Jimmy, I believe, in the Detroit area on the weekend coming up or whatever. And they were talking about their outfits and they were talking about what they were going to wear. They were obsessed with Jimmy Buffett.
Yeah.
And he performed for these people for years and years, and he didn't have to. He just kept doing it. Anyway.
Well, he knew that they liked it, and he probably liked performing,
And by all accounts, from everything I read from Paul McCartney and so many other, Kenny Chesney did a tribute. I mean, Jimmy Buffett became a staple in country music with Alan Jackson, and then with the Zac Brown Band, and so Jimmy, we miss you.
Yeah,
that
was a tough loss.
Truly be missed. Anyway.
But
absolutely.
Yeah, I don't know. He did like 30 albums. There's one coming up. He was just promoting a new
Oh,
one. that hasn't
really?
come out.
Oh, I didn't know that.
He had a new
He
album.
didn't
I'm
need
so out of
any
the
of them.
loop
He had
lately.
one song.
He didn't
No.
need to do any of that stuff.
There's a
but he
great
loved doing it.
Old
He just
interview
loved it.
clip I've heard of him this week that was like he was never happier than when his career was going nowhere. He didn't have a hit yet, and he was living in Key West, and he was working at a cocktail bar, and he had his boat, and he was so happy. And then that Margaritaville album blew up and ruined everything.
That's a great quote. That's a great quote. All right, what have we got? We people are
Well,
reaching
listen,
out.
last week was our first episode back after August, basically. We took all of August off. So thank you to everybody who was waiting. We got lots of really great comments from people saying, what a great, Gail says, what a great podcast. I just love you three. Foreman, you crack me up.
Way to go, Forman.
Way to go,
Thank
Foreman.
you, Gail. Yeah.
Scarlett says...
there seems to be a...
go ahead. Okay,
No, go ahead.
Scarlett says, you guys made my day by being back. Glad you got to enjoy your vacations.
Oh, that's
And
nice.
then Julie says, I missed you, but so glad you had time with your family. So thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
What do you
There
got
seems
for
to
me?
be a bit of a theme this week because there's a few other comments that single me out for one reason or the other.
Nice. I like that.
Mhm. So
I like that.
Angie says, Dave, with no ill will, the best part this week was hearing Forman say, F you, Collins.
I don't don't even remember. I mean, you say that to me all the time, so I don't really even think about it.
Doesn't faze me anymore.
No, it just bounces right off.
Yeah,
And then there's this comment. I think the reason I like the podcast so much is because Forman seemed so wholesome in the BX days.
Really?
Maybe he wasn't, but I listened while I commuted, so I was only half listening. And now that I realize is even crotchetier than Dave.
Yes. Yes.
It's like hearing a 3-year-old swear, but I can laugh out loud.
Well,
3-year-old.
if you want to hear a 3-year-old swear, that's
Just listen to Foreman.
That's all right.
Any old
I don't
time.
recall being that wholesome.
Every morning. Every morning.
Somebody, Aaron, texted or messaged us. I should say you can DM us on Instagram, Facebook.
Yes,
You
please
can
do.
Email us at daverachelforman@gmail.com. Anytime. We love to get your feedback, what you think about the podcast, anything. Aaron says yes, because we were back. She said, yes, just in time for my first day of commuting to my new job. I missed you guys. I don't know where she works. I asked her. She didn't reply. So good luck at your new job, Aaron. And we got another one. Let me see if I can find it from Erica Vincent, actually, who was a sponsor of ours. Erica Vincent, the realtor.
Thank you, Erica.
She says, I specifically saved this episode, the first episode back, to listen to as a pick-me-up after all the back-to-school stresses. So thank you for making me laugh.
Perfect.
Thank you, Erica.
That's our job.
That's nice. I'm glad we can make you laugh.
Yeah. Well, thank you. And reach out to us anytime.
Anytime. Yeah. If you're interested in sponsoring, by the way, we're almost pretty much booked up for September, but we do have some spots in October. So you can email us, daverachelforman@gmail.com. Or if you just want to let us know about the episode, what you thought, what you relate to, email, DM. We'd love to hear from you.
It's working. People are listening. We're not making we don't make these messages up and these names.
No, it's awesome.
Might sound
I love
like
it.
we do. I wouldn't be surprised if we did.
We should start making up really. We should make up a fake one every week, and then you have to guess which one is fake.
Yeah. Okay, guess which one is fake.
Yeah.
Starting next week.
Okay.
Forman is just so handsome in this week's YouTube video.
That's got to be